Good morning, friends, and welcome to Alexandria Games here at 200 Watson Street in downtown Ripon, Wisconsin on this wonderful Wednesday morning where we have had rain, we have had snow, we have had nearly getting T-boned while dropping off children at school. This is my PSA for the morning. Parents, we're all trying to get to the same place in the morning, drop our kids off, and get on with our day. Please, please, please pay attention to where you're driving. I don't want to be responsible for messing up your car or injuring you or your children. Please, just keep an eye out on the road. That's all I ask. It's easy. That's it. No more preaching on that today. So welcome back to our streams. We are multi-streaming today on both twitch.tv as well as our YouTube channel. If anybody's in the chats, please do let me know if audio levels are okay. I am hearing music in my ear, but it's probably at a different level than you're hearing it on the stream. And of course, I can't hear how loud my microphone is. So do let me know if there's any issues there. Today, I thought we'd do one more unboxing, and then tomorrow, I'm probably going to play a video game just because I feel like playing a video game this week. But today we'll do one more unboxing, and for today, I wanted to try this one out because we've had a few people grab some of the other parts of this title, and I wanted to check it out for myself because when I saw it in the catalog, I thought it looked pretty darn cool, and I thought I'd give it a shot, and everyone else seems to have thought exactly the same thing, which makes me super happy. But we're going to try out UnMatched Cobble Fog edition today, and we are going to see what it's all about, how you play. Maybe I'll try and even set up a little demo game for us here. So UnMatched I thought was really cool because the very first one I saw was literally listed as UnMatched Little Red Riding Hood versus Beowulf. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, that sounds weird. And I looked at it, and it was literally that. You get to play as Little Red Riding Hood or Beowulf, and you're trying to beat each other up. That's really what it comes down to, is a fight between different characters of legend, I guess is the best way to put it, going up against each other. So we have 4 different unmatched titles here at the shop. We have unmatched Little Red versus Beowulf. We have unmatched Robin Hood versus Bigfoot. We have Legends Volume 1, which is like Medusa, Alice from Alice in Wonderland, King Arthur, and Sinbad. And then we have Cobble Fog, which is The Invisible Man, Jekyll and Hyde, Dracula, and Sherlock Holmes. And they get different little bonuses, right? So the each character kind of gets a sidekick. So obviously Sherlock Holmes is going to get Dr. Watson, right? But the Invisible Man gets fog tokens. Jekyll and Hyde gets the transformation token to switch him back and forth between Jekyll or Hyde. And Dracula gets the sisters, for example. So as far as I am aware, this is technically a board game. And I say technically a board game because I'm pretty sure, and I'll have to put a comment on it, when I unboxed Fallout Wasteland Warfare, I called that a board game. And that's not accurate. That one was actually a miniatures war game. It's just that it was 1 or 2 players, and it had options for versus, solo, or co-op mode. This one, Unmatched, is definitely a 2-player game that is looking to have you play 2 to 4 actually in the bigger boxes, which is looking to have you go up against each other in versus mode. All right. That being said, I would not be surprised if at some point someone figured out a way to set up each of these characters with their own AI, right? So that you could play solo or co-op. Like, that is a thing. Star Wars X-Wing, which is one of the miniatures wargaming titles from the Star Wars line, someone actually went and made a solo and co-op version of that they provide online for free. I'm totally going to forget the name of it, but if you did a search online for Star Wars X-Wing solo or co-op mode, I am sure you would find it. All right. So let's go ahead and pop out my knife here so we can take off our packaging. And of course, every time I do this, the game that I unbox goes into our library here at Alexandria Games. I like to have them games around that we unbox to show off as demos, and as some of the local middle school kids and high school kids have asked for, I'm building up a little library to be able to rent out to folks so that they can sit in the back in the archive here and rent a game for a couple hours and sit and play. So lots of good stuff like that we're working on. Now I can't get the box to open up because it is staticky. There we go. Oh, the other thing, as far as I remember, and I will double check at some point. Oh, that's funny. It's going to call me out right here. Miniature dueling game is what they listed as. I'm listing it as a board game because it's not like there's individual armies or things like that you would normally get in a miniatures board game, right? But you can use any characters from any of the boxes against any of the other boxes, right? So if you bought this one, right, Cobble Fog, you could also get Red Riding Hood versus Bigfoot, and you'd still be able to swap those guys out on this battlefield, right? So what we have here in the box: in battle there are no equals, unmatched, Cobble Fog. This is the rules book. This is not a very big rules book, and it looks like, yeah, I mean, it's big text, it's big graphics. Looks like there's some extra kind of fun stuff. Here, Robin Hood versus Bigfoot, and then in the Legends is Medusa, so you can go ahead and take Bigfoot and put Bigfoot up against Medusa, right? So like they literally show you that right in the rule book. I like the art style a lot. This is very, like, I love, Sherlock Holmes stuff. My wife and I both. Sherlock Holmes stuff, anything that's like kind of Victorian Englandish. What was the one? I'm going to forget all the show titles now that we've ever watched. They're all just going to leave my head. So things on Netflix like The Irregulars, or the one on Amazon Prime with that dude. I'm forgetting all names right now. There's another one that's like Victorian England, but it's like a specific part of London that all the like Fae people live in. And the one guy's like a cop. I totally forget the name of it now. But, we love that kind of stuff. So the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies, stuff like that. But yeah, these are all the illustrations here are very much like that. And that's very, very cool. Dials. We've got dials. I'm good with that. To assemble the health dials, punch out the 2 circles for each character and connect them with a rivet, which I assume are probably hiding underneath. So yeah, we've got health dials for everybody and their sidekicks if they have them. We've got Invisible Man's fog tokens, all that. Backsides, Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll have double-sided. I just punched out the Invisible Man one, flipping it around there. I'll put that together in a minute so I don't lose it. And then, here is, don't show that yet. The goodies are underneath, but I want to look at this first. This is the board. This is not a big board. This is pretty small for a board, but this looks really cool. So we have the Baskerville Manor on this side, and we'll have to see what these little lock icons are for in a minute. It looks like we've got the gardens, the front, the inside with several rooms, and then it's actually double-sided, and on the back is Soho. So it's part of London, and we get rooftops, and then the streets, and then it looks like, these are some more rooftops here. So very much ground or up in the air. We'll have to see if there's any additional rules for that. Looks like we've got some numbered squares here, or circles I should say. We'll have to see if those are starting points or what those are exactly. But moving on to the good stuff, we've got minis. Minis and cards. I like this. And this is a very nice little insert here. Where are you? thing that fell out. Okay. So it looks like we've got some setups here for insert right away. So we've got, I'm gonna say, ooh, these bases are interesting. I feel like you could take him, oh, you can take him out of the base. Oh, okay. Interesting. Wonder if that's just for painting or, oh, they're colored. Oh, I'm dumb. Look up, Patrick. They're colored. Oh, okay, cool. So you can always tell whose deck you're supposed to have if you don't recognize, for some reason, the Invisible Man here, which I would hope you would recognize him because he's got no face. That's so cool. His hand's missing for touching his cane. Oh, that's awesome. He's got a little empty trench coat. That's really cool. Ooh, I'm gonna enjoy painting these. Now I wonder if I even should paint them because I kind of like this grayscale on them. Dracula there. Let's see. This looks like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and he's kind of mid transformation. See if my camera will refocus here. You can see he's kind of got that transformation thing going on with one side. His potion and a hatchet. And then Mr. Sherlock Holmes, who looks like he's ready for a bit of fisticuffs. That's pretty cool. I like these removable colored bases. That's cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. We've got decks. Oh, here we go. All right, so this is the Invisible Man's deck. But underneath we have tokens for... This looks like the sisters for Dracula, as well as Watson for Sherlock Holmes. Again, color-coded, very handy. Dr. Jekyll's, these are our rivets for our health dials. More rivets. And more rivets. Cool, so here's our 4 decks. All right, Dracula with the 3 sisters. Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson, like that 221B right on there with a little magnifying glass. Dracula's has the 3 sisters on it. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde has, I'm going to say that's like some kind of a goat or something, but it's got 2 separate faces. And kind of the transformation there. And I like this. So like these guys have, Sherlock Holmes and Dracula have partners. Right? So their squares go all the way around the back of their cards. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde are the same person, so the card literally splits down the middle. I think that's a subtle but cool thing. And then the Invisible Man here, who doesn't have a partner, or a sidekick, I should say, is what they call him in this. But he does have the fog that he works with. So, let's just real quick here throw these health dials together before I forget. Because I will forget, and then I'll end up leaving a part somewhere, and that will not be good. Just go ahead and pop these open, and then I lose one on the floor. Because it wouldn't be an Alexandria Game stream without Patrick throwing something on the floor. I threw dice on the floor last time because I wasn't paying enough attention. Go figure. Alright, let's throw a couple of these together real quick. Invisible Man, since I already punched his thing out here. Just get the centers out. That. Come here. Put that through. See, these are cardboard and plastic, right? But this still feels like good solid construction. I like that. I like that a lot. Nice little health dial there. Good stuff. Who's next? Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Have to see if Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde have different health rules because they're kind of 2 people but 1 person, you know? Try to get this all on camera here. There we go. Finish these up real quick. While I'm doing that, how's everybody doing today? I see there's a couple people hanging out here for viewers. Haven't seen any stuff come through on the chats here. I will move my screen though because I'm not sure how the multi-stream chat works. If I see both Twitch and YouTube on the same thing here in Streamlabs OBS, or if it's that I have to switch. I feel like I have to switch because I see a Twitch tab and a multi-stream tab. I have to see how that works. How are you guys doing today? That good, eh? I'll wait for the delay. Because there probably is a delay. Open a couple more of these up. Did everybody see our Facebook post for our new titles we got in? We got a bunch of stuff in from Breaking Games here today that I just put in the computer today and put up on the shelves. We got Cards Against Humanity. We've got about 6 different expansion packs for cards. We've got Pocket Dungeon Quest. We got Something Wicked, Sparkle Kitty, Shadow Kitty. What else did we get on there? Flick Wars. Speaking of battles and miniature wargaming, we got one called Flick Wars from Breaking Games. It has like a big like glossy smooth map, and then you've got little pucks that you actually like flick across it in order to move them, and in order to attack you actually have to flick them, which I thought sounded really cool, so thought we'd give it a shot. I probably won't be doing that one on stream because I feel like I don't have enough room on the countertop here to be able to do that one, but we'll see. What else we got? Oh, I also have new puzzles that are sitting here waiting for me to put in the system. I got some 3D puzzles: Independence Hall, Statue of Liberty, Chrysler Building, the White House, Eiffel Tower, and the Empire State Building. They're all 3D puzzles, as well as some model railroad stuff. I got asked for model railroad stuff, and so I worked with one of our customers who was asking for it. And we went ahead and ordered up several sets of flex track, some turnouts. I think I got lefts and Ys. And then we got several locomotives, both steam and diesel. So we have those here. I believe they're all what's referred to as HO scale for the locomotives. So hopefully that's something you guys will find interesting. Maybe we've got something you'd like to start or continue your railroad model railroad collection, or I don't know what they call it. Do they call it like a setup or a town or a village? I don't know what they refer to model railroad, like full dioramas and tables of stuff that are set up. I'm gonna have to ask. I need to learn these things so that I don't sound like I do right now, which is that I don't know anything about it. What else? Oh, one other thing that will hopefully be in today. We have gone ahead and gotten a Games Workshop direct account. So we will be a Games Workshop dealer, and I'm gonna say dealer because that's how I feel like I should refer to it as. And we will have a brand new Games Workshop shelf, like a full rack, hopefully delivered today. So you're gonna have to give me a day or two to get it all put together and get everything in the computer and up on the shelf. But it will contain Warhammer 40K stuff. It'll have Citadel paints. It'll have some scenery stuff from Games Workshop. It will have, I believe, some Age of Sigmar as well. Some D6 cubes from Games Workshop. And I want to say, but I could be wrong, it might have just been another page in the little flyer they gave me for the rack. I want to say there should also be a some kind of little starter set for their Games Workshop's Middle Earth strategy battle game. Games Workshop makes a Middle-earth miniatures war game for like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, all that fun stuff. But I will have to double check on the invoices or just dig through the boxes that show up today and see if that's actually in there or not, because I can't remember off the top of my head if it was part of it or if it was just an advertisement in the documentation that they gave me for the rack. So we'll have to see. Let's see if we can set up a quick game to show off here for Unmatched, Cobble, and Fog. Unmatched is a miniatures dueling game featuring fighters of all kinds, from the page to the screen to the stuff of legends. Each hero has a unique deck of cards that fits their fighting style. You can mix and match fighters from any Unmatched set, but remember, in the end, there can only be one winner. Pretty cool, man. Alright, there's the content here. We already went through that. Heroes and sidekicks. All of your characters in the battle are called your fighters, but your primary fighter is called your hero. Heroes are represented by miniatures that move around on the battlefield. Your other fighters are called sidekicks. Most heroes have a single sidekick, some heroes have multiple sidekicks, and still other heroes have no sidekick at all. Sidekicks are represented by tokens that move around on the battlefield. Each hero has a special ability notated on their character card. You also have your stats, your starting health of your heroes and your sidekicks. Fighter health is tracked on separate health dials. Fighters cannot gain health higher than the highest number on their health dial. If your hero has multiple sidekicks, each sidekick only has one health unless otherwise specified. The character card instead lists the total number of sidekicks. Sorry, I'm losing my tongue today. How to play. Players take turns maneuvering their fighters on the battlefield, playing schemes and attacking their opponent's fighters. To win, you must be the first to defeat your opponent's hero, which happens when they are reduced to 0 health. Makes sense. Alright, here's our setup. Setup instructions and the following rules are for games with 2 players. For rules on team play with 3 or 4 players, go to another page. Good stuff. Let's see here. Choose a battlefield. We did. Choose a hero. We're going to do Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes versus Dracula, because that just sounds good. We need their cards, which I have not opened yet. Move this stuff out of the way. Let's see. We don't need the Invisible Man's Fog. Put that back in the box. This deck. Dracula, Watson, Sherlock Holmes. We're gonna put. Oh, you know what? That's even better. The box is designed to hold their health dials as well, which is awesome. We're gonna drop his fog in under there. Put that down. Jekyll. That. I feel like. Oh, I put them in the wrong spaces. See, these guys thought ahead on how to do all this stuff, and here I am goofing it up. Go. And are going to need these tokens. Sisters and Mr. Watson. Invisible Man goes over here, and his stuff goes underneath. Oh, such good design. This is fantastic design. I applaud you. I applaud you. Restoration Games and Mondo Games. How wonderful. This is great. All right. Each player sets their hero starting health and their sidekick starting health on the matching health dials. Let's go ahead and start health 13 for Dracula. The sisters each have 1 health, but there's 3 of them. Sherlock Holmes starts at 16. And Mr. Watson, Dr. Watson, sorry, at 8. And it looks like Sherlock and Dracula are both melee fighters. I'll show you this here. Melee, starting health. His special ability for Dracula, at the start of your turn, you may deal 1 damage to a fighter adjacent to Dracula. If you do, draw a card. Then the sidekicks, the sisters, they are also melee. It looks like that's a range as well, within 1. And then there are 3 of them versus Sherlock Holmes. 16 start, melee, 1 range. Effects on Holmes and Dr. Watson cards cannot be canceled by an opponent. Effects on any cards can be canceled. Looks like they also both have movement of 2. Dr. Watson, who is ranged for his attack and has a starting health of 8. Let's see here. Sidekicks health and the matching health cards. I gotta open these decks. Where is it? There's a thing here to help me open it, and I can't get the thing. Maybe? There we go. There we go. Here's Dracula's. Ooh, I like these cards. They feel nice. Alright, I think I'm going to put that there, right? Because we don't shuffle that. Sidekicks without a health dial. They have only 1 health each. Each player shuffles their action cards to form a single deck and places it face down, then draws 5 cards as their starting hand. I'm going to try not to bend these cards up too much here, so I'm going to do a loose shuffle, which I feel like is okay, because I have no idea how to play the game, so it's not like I'm getting any kind of advantage from doing it this way. There we go. Okay, so there's Dracula's. Let's get Mr. Holmes set up. That one opened a little easier. All this garbage here. There we go. Good stuff. Good. Got some nice music today that I can actually hear. I like being able to hear the music while I stream. Makes me feel like I'm not just sitting here talking to myself, which I am. Uh-oh. Alright. That. Getting a little loopy this morning, aren't I? Probably need more caffeine. Okay, each player shuffles their action cards to form a single deck, places it face down, draws 5 cards as their starting hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And of course, I'm just going to lay these out so you guys can see them here. Oop, maybe if I get it in frame. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, how much time we got left? 10 minutes? Let's see how much we can get through in 10 minutes before I got to open up the door here and let you wonderful folks in. The younger player places their hero in the number 1 space on the battlefield. There is no number 1 space on this battlefield. Is there? I don't see one. Oh, there are. Hang on. Where is it? They're just much darker diamonds on top of the circles. There it is. We will say that Holmes is younger. Then they place their sidekicks in separate spaces within the same zone as their hero. If their hero is in a space that is part of multiple zones, their sidekicks may be in any of those zones. If you have to make a decision about your fighter at the beginning of the game, make it now. There are none in this set. Okay, cool. So, same zone. So I'm going to assume that these walls equal a zone, because I don't see any true wall crossing lines here. So we will say that he is. No, put him here. The older player places their hero in the number 2 space on the battlefield, then places their sidekicks based on the same rules as in step 5. Number 2 is. There's 3. 1, 3, 4, 2. There we go. 2. We're gonna put one, I assume this whole thing is the zone? The whole outside is a zone? I'm unclear. Just in case, we'll do this. Oh, or is it that? Oh, you know what? I think the zones are actually, some of these circles have two different textures underneath, so I'm guessing those are the zones. So yeah, Watson's in that zone, so yes, the sisters could be here. So like this one's three separate zones, right? It's got the green, it's got the wood, and it's got the bookshelf. So this has outside and inside. So I'm gonna put a sister there. I'm gonna put a sister here. I'm gonna put a sister here. Good stuff. The younger player takes the first turn. Spaces and zones. The battlefield, oh, now it's going to tell me. The battlefield is made up of circular spaces that the fighters will move between. Each space can only contain one fighter at a time. Two spaces connected by a line are adjacent. Adjacency is used to determine targets of attacks and various card effects. The spaces of the battlefield are divided into zones, which are indicated by different colored patterns. All zones with the same colored pattern are part of the same zone, even if they are in different parts of the battlefield. If a space has multiple colored patterns, it is considered to be part of multiple zones. Zones are used to determine targets of ranged attacks and various card effects. We're going to go through one turn of move and attack here, and then we are going to call it. So let's see here. Your turn. On your turn, you must take two actions. You cannot skip an action. You may choose two different actions or the same action twice. The possible actions are maneuver, scheme, and attack. You have a hand limit of 7 cards. At the end of your turn, if you have more than 7 cards in your hand, you must discard down to 7 cards, placing any discarded cards in your discard pile. This all makes sense. Then it's the opponent's turn. Cards have all sorts of symbols on them for attack, defense, scheme. See if my camera will... Come on, camera. You know you want to. Focus. There we go. Attack, defense, scheme, versatile, attack or defense, their locations, character name, what the name of the card is. Is that music? Nope, that is Siren here in town. There we go. Alright, sorry about that, folks. Number of copies in the deck. Oh, that's interesting. It'll tell you how many of this card exist in the deck. Boost value, effect when played, if any, all sorts of other good stuff. Now I've got an alarm going off on my phone. Isn't all the extra noise wonderful? All right, here are our action maneuver. When you take the maneuver action, you first draw the top card of your deck, then you may move your fighters. So draw a card. You can have more than 7 cards in your hand during your turn, but have to go down to 7 at the end. Drawing cards, whether via the maneuver action or due to a card effect, is mandatory unless otherwise specified. When your deck is empty, your fighters are exhausted. If you need to draw a card while your fighter is exhausted, do not reshuffle your discard pile. Instead, each of your fighters immediately takes 2 damage. Wow, that's brutal. Okay. Your character card lists your move value, which is 2. During this step, you may move each of your fighters one at a time, a number of spaces equal to or less than your move value. You may also choose to boost your movement. See the next page. You can move each of your fighters one at a time, a number of spaces equal to or less than your move value. Okay, so the way I'm reading this says I get to move each of them one at a time, and they each get to move 2, which is the value of move on the card. If that is wrong, I will find out. But what I want to do is move here and here. So I'm going to attack there. In the order of your choice, must finish each fighter's move before starting the next. Okay. You can move fighters through spaces occupied by friendly units. Cannot move in an occupied space, which would be one owned by a non-friendly unit. You may not move a fighter through spaces occupied by opposing fighters. Yes. Okay. Boost lets you go further, but you discard the card, and it'll be however much this little circle number is. There's a scheme thing, but I'm going to attack before we go here. When you take the attack action, you must declare which of your fighters is performing the attack. They are the active fighter. You may not take the attack action if you do not have an attack card in hand, or if none of your fighters have valid targets to attack. Oh, interesting. Attack looks like this. That is the attack icon right there. All right, declare our target. Any fighter may target a fighter in adjacent space. Adjacent. Regardless what zone they are in, fighters with melee attacks indicated by this icon may only target a fighter in an adjacent space. Fighters with ranged attacks indicated by this other icon may target an adjacent fighter, or they may target a fighter anywhere in the same zone, regardless of adjacency. Oh, that's interesting. So if I'd had enough movement to put Holmes or Watson over here, for example, he still would be able to fire at this one of the three sisters because it's the same zone. But we were over here. Put that back. As the attacker, you must choose an attack card from your hand and place it face down in front of you. It must be the card that your attacking fighter is allowed to use. Then, yes, Dr. Watson is listed on here, so he's allowed to use it. Then the defender may, but is not required to, choose a defense card, which he does have. I'm going to do that. It must be a card that the defending fighter is allowed to use. Once both players have chosen their cards, reveal them at the same time. Dr. Watson is going to use his service revolver, and one of the sisters is going to use dash after combat. Move your fighter up to 3 spaces. And this is a versatile card, so it can be used for attack or defense. Could have used one of those for Holmes as well. Isn't this exciting? And we are going to resolve the combat real quick. Most cards have effects with labels. If 2 effects would ever appear to resolve at the same time, defender's effect resolves first. After cards have been revealed, resolve any effects that occur. That's after combat. For this one, sorry. Winning combat. Some after combat effects check to see who won the combat. The attacker won the combat if they dealt at least 1 damage to the defender from the attack, i.e. not any from any effects. Defender won the combat if they took no damage from the attack itself. Okay, so sorry, I have apparently missed how you resolve. Well, I'm confused. So is it the higher number? I'm assuming it's the higher number, but it doesn't actually say this. Or I'm just not reading it correctly. After cards have been revealed, resolve any effects that occur immediately. Then resolve any effects that occur during combat. Then determine the result of the combat. The attacker deals damage to the defender equal to the value of their played attack card. Okay, good. 5. If the defender played a defense card, subtract the value of their played defense card first. For each damage that the defender takes, reduce that fighter's health by 1, adjusting their health tile accordingly. Okay, good. Bigger number here, lower number there. Defender loses. This token doesn't have more than 1 health, so since it took a damage, it's gone. And Dr. Watson is successful in his combat. The after combat thing doesn't take place because Dracula lost on that card effect. And I dropped the card on the floor because, again, it wouldn't be one of our streams here at Alexandria Games if Patrick didn't drop things on the floor. So that was probably too fast to really pay good attention to, so please do go back and check out the VOD or leave me a message on our YouTube channel or Facebook or anywhere else you'd like to say, Patrick, you went too fast, and I will do my best to do a better playthrough demo And actually, I will try to do a better playthrough demo and upload it specifically to our YouTube channel. That is going to do it for today, folks. I'm going to go ahead and turn the open sign on and unlock the door, and we hope to see you here soon. And once again, thank you for joining us here at Alexandria Games at 200 Watson Street in downtown Ripon, Wisconsin. Have a good one.